Welcome back to the channel. Hit the like and subscribe button down below. So I want to discuss the upcoming event for Apple, which is WWDC21, and some of the things that we could potentially expect. The event is on June 7th, which is Monday, at 10 a.m. That's Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So just mark it on your calendar. You can go to Apple's website and mark it and get it all set up. You can also go and watch their previous events, so that's straightforward. But what to expect on that event? So I will trying to do a live stream on Monday with that event going on, so we can see exactly what they're talking about. But here's some speculations and rumors. So let's jump over to macrumors.com, and some of the things that they are talking about is a potential new MacBook Pro. So some people have been talking that there might be a new 14-inch or 16-inch MacBook Pro, and we could see it launch as early as WWDC. With these MacBook Pros, there's been rumors that it might include the mini LED display, something that they've incorporated into the new iPad Pro 12.9. And so far, it's one of the better displays when it comes to the LCD LED technology, especially if you are not going with an OLED yet, which they have not done on the iPad, maybe next year or the year after, but they've only done it on their mobile devices like the iPhone. And it took them a while to even get to that, get that set up. But what the next options are, we're looking at Apple Silicone updates, so that might be something else that they come out with. Right now we are on the M1 chip. So the M2, something that's been discussed and talked about is that Apple is working on a 10-core Apple Silicon chip for the MacBook Pro models, with the chips expected to include 8 high-performance cores and 2 energy-efficient cores, along with 16 or 32 GPU options and support for up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. So we're in a different sphere right now. I believe the memory supported is 16 to 32 on the MacBooks, and we got 8 to 16 on the iPads, and that's on the M1 chip. Still one of the more powerful devices out there, so if you buy an M1 chip, it should last you a couple of years easily, just like we get out of the iPhones with their A series chips. They still stay relevant. Some people still have iPad Air 2 that is using the older chipsets and still is able to perform to this date. They do kind of start going down a little bit, but I think overall people are good with the M1 chip and going into the M2. But that's right now a rumored piece. iOS is the next thing that they will be discussing. So we definitely know that they will be talking about the operating system. We are on the 15th iteration of iOS, and iPadOS will be coming out as well. So for iOS, a couple of things that they're talking about is notification updates. They're also talking about iMessage changes, privacy enhancements, food tracking, and interface updates. So for the iPad, they're looking at a new iPad home screen, some more accessibility updates, and some other features. So there's a few things that I would like to see. Notification updates, any kind of changes, those things would be nice. iMessage changes, it would always be cool to have more integrated features into the iMessage application. Some people don't like using it. They go to Signal or WhatsApp just because of how some of the little replies and those features there, they don't really sit well with them. But everybody's got a different choice or a different opinion what they like. Food tracking is another thing that they're talking about, so that's going to be part of the health app, and it makes sense for them adding more health features. They always do it every year, and having a new health feature like food tracking would also help them once they come out with the new Apple Watch and they have glucose monitoring. So if glucose monitoring comes out, food tracking, those things definitely would work together because it would help people know certain foods that they eat and how it's interacting with their glucose throughout the day. So that's I would say pretty cool. For the iPad, they're talking about Apple is working on a new home screen for the iPad and will let users place widgets anywhere. An entire app grid will be replaceable with widgets on the iPad and design that is available already on the iPhone. Now, for me, the biggest feature that I would like to see on the iPad The first one is multi-users. The next one after that is more multitasking, making it more powerful, gapping the bridge between um, Mac OS and iPad OS, since they are now separating it from iOS. So you have iOS on the iPhones and iPods, then you have iPad OS, which is now different enough, at least in the last 2 years and 3 years, has been separating itself on how it's differentiating itself from the other system. And so it does kind of lie in the middle between Mac OS and iOS, but now I think we can even expand on that. Multi-user has been done. They've done it with tvOS, so they have multiple profiles. I don't see why they can't do multiple profiles for the iPad OS, especially since there's many people that have kids or partners that they share their device with, and they don't want to have all of the information be shared on one device, on one profile. It's easier when you have multi-profile. So that'll be nice to see. It's something that people are hopeful for, but we might not get it until 2-3 years down the line. Hopefully sooner than that. Mac OS 12, we'll see Mac OS 12, see what kind of enhancements it does, what other bridges it actually connects, because there's a few things that they've done with Mac OS in the last few years, trying to bring it closer in more of a connective state with iPad OS and iOS, where it's much easier to use, and those devices are very connected and transitional. So WatchOS 8, we'll get that. We'll see what kind of features that will bring. Hopefully new watch faces, maybe minor enhancements, but I think a lot of people are excited to see what the new watch by itself would bring, which would be coming out probably around September, October, November timeframe. tvOS 15. tvOS is right now doing really well. I think people are enjoying watching the content and just streamlining it. They also have the new Apple TV, so we know there's got more power. So we'll see if they have anything extra that they would want to add to the Apple TV. And then the last one that they've it's been rumored, but we know that Apple has Apple TV. They have the HomePods. So HomeKit, it has been around for a while, and it's got all your information connected, but they could maybe work on a separate operating system, which is Home OS. And with that operating system, maybe they'll incorporate all of these devices in one place and how they talk to each other, maybe more automation and so on. But that's something that's been shown in the code, but nothing really that's sticking. So there's other things that they're talking about, improvements and updates, which again, all of this is just speculation and rumors. We know that we will see a new operating system, but what we will see on that operating system, that's still left out a little bit. So as soon as it goes live on Monday, we will try to get those beta softwares. I'm going to test it out and put it on the iPad, on the iPhone, and the Apple Watch, and also let you guys know how to do it if you are interested in doing it as well. And then we'll go from there. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel.